Hi there, my name is Jordan Tashner, Curriculum Developer over at Code4Kids, and today I am super excited to take you through the final lesson of our drone course. Now, just like before, the first tab is a quiz module, and it's a recap of Lesson 3. Now, you can remind your students in Lesson 3, we learned about the different forces of a drone, specifically the thrust force, which allows the drone to fly upwards. And then, of course, we learned how the drone moves forwards, backwards, left, right, and how it can spin on its axis. So I'm not going to go through the recap, but I want to start off with the lesson now. And in this lesson, we're going to be learning about image recognition and machine learning, and specifically how aerobotics can use artificial intelligence to take photos and to scan lots of crops to help the farmers with data. So don't worry, it's quite simple. We're not going into too much advanced detail. It's very surface level. So to begin, we have an information section, and in this section, we just ask a teacher prompt there. Why do you think aerobotics takes photos of crops? The answer there is, of course, to give their farmers data about their crops, whether it's the number of crops, if they're diseased, if they're healthy, and all those sorts of things. So to begin, let's, as a class, I encourage you to watch the video image recognition over here. And remember, in the questions that follow, if your students haven't watched the video, that's okay. We have the transcripts listed below. But we encourage you to watch this as a class, or if your students have headphones, you can use those. Once you've watched the video, we can go into question 2. And the first question that we ask is, how does the camera stay still when taking aerial photos? Remember, this is from long ago. The answer here is the gimbal. Aerobotics AI, why does aerobotics take a large amount of pictures of farmers' crops? The answer here is to process information. So remember, aerobotics wants to get as much data as they can by taking photos of the crops for the farmers. Next, we have counting super fast. How long would it take a computer to process 1,000 images? The answer here is around a second. And the reason because of this is the computers are extremely fast, they're powerful, they can do tons and tons of calculations using the processor in the computer. We learned about the control board in the previous lessons, and the control board will be able to do this sort of thing, process lots and lots of images all at once. Next, section 5, identifying images. How does a computer know what the branch of a tree looks like? The answer here is all of these. So here, computers, what they do is they scan lots and lots of images at once. They look at familiar colors, they look at familiar shapes of the object that we're looking at. So in this case, it's a tree. So I'll look through thousands and thousands of images, see that the branch is brown, the leaves are green, the shape of a branch is rectangular, and then it will identify a bunch of trees through tons and tons of training data. So the answer here is all of the above. And then finally, for section 6, learning is key. If our brain learns by trying, what does the drone use to learn? And the answer here is simply the control board, since that's the processor or the brain of the drone. Next, we go straight onto the open world app, and we got something new and exciting to show you in this lesson. And this is the block called scan over here. You'll also notice that we have loops now, but don't worry about that right now. And then in the top right corner, you'll see a couple of prompts over there. Let's just go through what everything means. So remember, our objectives are over here, and we can swipe left and right or click the arrows to see all of our objectives. The first objective is always the most important one: find and scan 10 healthy trees. We've got this here already for you. So what you need to do is at the end of each code block, we must add the scan block, and that'll allow us to actually scan trees. So for example, if I remove, let's go to that tree over there. If I move 4, we're going to scan it. And if we click run, you'll see that it's blue. The tree has turned blue, and that means it's healthy. So we found one healthy tree, and that is signified by this prompt over here. You see the little tree thing over there? That means 1 over 5 trees are healthy. Next, we can scan 10 healthy trees in under 10 clicks. So to do that, we need to not click this as many times. So doing the exact same thing, but you'll notice that when you click it, you can see the counters going up there in the top right corner. You can see it's going 3 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Let's just reset that there. Now for the final objective, you may think to yourself, this seems impossible. Let me just reset there. Find scan 10 healthy trees with at most 5 blocks. You may think 5 blocks to scan 10 healthy trees. How is that possible? Well, we can actually use loops. And remember, whatever blocks we put inside these loops, it will repeat X number of times. In this case, it's 10. And what we're going to try and do is, through trial and error, figure out some sort of way using 5 blocks to scan 10 healthy trees. Remember, that's 10 blue trees. On the next tab, we have gathering data 2. We need to scan 30 healthy trees, just like before. We can just throw a bunch of things together, make sure they have that scan block attached. That's the most important one. And it's completely randomized. I should have mentioned this earlier, but all the trees are random, meaning every student will do this differently. So they need to click run, and you can see that it is scanning some trees. And there's 2 unhealthy trees so far, so this may take a while. Then once we've scanned 30 trees, we need to land back at the aerobotics truck. And to do that, we need to spin 180 degrees depending on where you are. And then we need to move, I think I moved 3 times, and then land. Okay, I landed in the wrong place. You need to land on the flag. But that's what that objective is. And finally, the challenge is to do this with at most 10 blocks, which will be quite difficult. And finally, for the last challenge, this should take the entire lesson. Some of your students won't finish. That's fine. It's supposed to be open-ended for the end of the course. But basically, we want your students to scan 100 trees. And if I zoom out on the right over here by using the mouse roller, you can see that there's hundreds and hundreds of trees. So this will take quite a while. And what we can do is we can throw together a whole bunch of loops, for example. And we need to scan every time. And we can move once and also turn the drone, let's say 120 degrees, and then also move a couple more times, maybe twice. And you can click run, and you can see how that works. I mean, I need a much larger radius. Why don't we do, let's move 3 times. And then also turn left, and then move backwards 4 times. Let's see how that goes. Now we're drifting around the map, scanning a bunch of trees, and we've only got 9 out of 100. You can see in the top 10 now, in the top right corner. And we can just continue this fashion over and over again until we found all the trees. Okay. And that's it for the drone course. We really hope you enjoyed, and good luck, and I'll be keen to see you in our next drone course that will be coming soon.